Hello and what is up, guys? My name is YUGIOH from Screencasters. I'm doing a discussion on the ban list and some things I want to see hit, changed, and it is ban list season. Everybody is speculating their asses off, so I thought, I'll throw my hat into the ring. Typically, I don't like doing videos everybody else does, like if there's ever any news about something happening. I don't want to do like videos about that typically because your news feed, if you're subscribed to a bunch of other YouTubers, is already going to be filled with like all that stuff, and what am I going to tell you? Basically my own 2 cents on it. That's basically what every video is, like, oh, this new card came out, every other YouTuber's talking about it. Are they adding any new information? No, they're just giving their 2 cents on it. So that's why I try to stay away from it. There's no real individuality from it other than what you're saying. Alright, but right now it's something that everybody has an opinion about, and I am not one to judge about this thing, which is actually the ban list. So yeah, I have a list right here of things I want to see hit or could be hit, and I try to think about it not just for myself, because every single Yu-Gi-Oh player has their assault list. The assault list is a ban list that we ourselves make in our mind. For example, my assault list is Panditi banned, Domain banned, Prime Monarch banned. I fucking hate that card. And then Monarchs can go back to tier 0 where they belong, because Tribute Summoning sucks. And Dimension Fusion to 3 because I'm salty and I want Chaos Dragons to reign supreme. All the naughty things I would do with Dimension Fusion. Alright, but on the serious note here, but all salt aside, I try to make it as balanced as I could. So here's my thoughts on the next Konami ban list whenever they feel like updating it. As for banned, I see Monkey Board, Performer Power Monkey Board. One card scales are incredibly unhealthy for the game. No one can tell me otherwise. The thing about pendulums that makes them so powerful is keep bringing back more and more monsters and establishing a huge board that essentially you can't get around and they proceed to OTK you with it. It prevents you from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! What typically makes pendulums so overpowered is the fact that they can keep bringing stuff back. And how they do that is with the scales, and one card scales are very unhealthy. I feel like scales is basically your investment. If they ever cut off that resource flow, your deck is essentially dead in the water until you can reestablish those scales. But having a searchable one-card scale that basically fixes your scales for you isn't healthy. That's why Clevefort's Scout got hit. I think he's at 1 now. And I feel like if Konami doesn't release any more one-card scales, we wouldn't be in this kind of predicament that we are now, where we kind of had to hit Pepe really early. Not that most people agree with that, but it happened. We have to live with it. So one-card scales are very unhealthy. Monkey Board already got hit in the OCG list. It just makes logical sense to ban or limit any kind of one-card scale, whatever it may be. So there's that, and Monkey Board overall is a healthy card anyway. The next one is one that I had to make a lot of consideration about because I love this card, but it's kind of necessary and kind of right at the same time. It's Elder Entity Norden. A lot of people aren't playing him now. A lot of people aren't going to Instant Fusion route in their decks because pendulums are a thing. They do have to work to put a pendulum monster in the graveyard, but in all honesty, all they do is make a rank 4, like Cowboy, and just attach it, and there you go, it's live. But so apparently people have a problem with this, but Norden in himself is an inherently bad card because, one, he's not once per turn, so if you call to Haunted him back after already using his effect for rank 4 and detaching him, he can bring back the same thing and just do it all over again. That's what I don't like about him, but it's a thing of a necessary thing you have to do. I'd rather have my Instant Fusion at 3 because there's more things you can bring out Instant Fusion than Norden running around at 3. Like, I'd rather have my Instant Fusion than Norden because I can at least bring out Dark Fire Dragon. He's a level 4. He doesn't do anything. He's a vanilla level 4 fusion monster. He's already been here for a while since the Megaton, so I feel like now would be a good time to hit him. So yeah, on for the next ban card. Pantheism of the Monarchs, Panditi. The card that I really don't like, but there's actually reason behind it. So the way I see that it's banned is because there's a lot of flaws in its card design. Panditi in itself is a very broken card in my opinion because what makes it so good is it's not once per turn to discarding. So if you have multiples, if you can resolve multiples, you can draw so many cards. Panditi is the card that sets up most of the Monarch advantage. And I think that's bullshit. You should not be able to have that much advantage just from one card, Most decks have to work for getting all those draws, and Panditi, the fact that you can discard it and a Monarch Spell and Trap, draw 2 cards, then right after you can banish it. You can banish it from your graveyard and then search 3 cards, and the fact that the 3 cards you pick for your opponent to add to your hand could be the same card, which is Tenacity, which touches basically your entire deck. It's just not really healthy to me. Hitting Banditi, it hits Monarchs, but it doesn't cripple them. It definitely doesn't make the deck unplayable. It just slows the deck down. Banditi is a tempo card. It speeds the deck up. It facilitates all their advantage, and that's where I feel like why it should be banned. There's a lot of flaws in the design. It's not once per turn. The searching is, but everything else isn't. I just feel like the card is a little bit too good. If they made it so, 3 different cards are going to activate each effect once per turn, I'd be totally fine with it, because yeah, you only do it once. You can't just loop it. You can't just keep drawing cards, keep searching. It's one of those tempo cards I feel isn't healthy for the game. It's definitely ban worthy. So on to the fun part, the part that everybody has something to say about, the limited stuff. The first card on my list is Draco Face-Off. Draco Face-Off is a very, very powerful card. And a quick play, for whatever reason. The fact that you could basically set up your scales, because in Shining Victories, we're going to get Rector, the Draco Slayer, the Draco Overlord Pendulum. He's a scale 5. So basically, what really made Classic Draco Rivals really, I guess, fair at the time, was that it was kind of a coin flip. You wanted to hit Luster, and he's your high scale, but everything else in the deck was low scale, which was 3s. But since you got 2 5s, you honestly could just pick a Luster and a Rector, and there's your 5 scale. You could pick a Vector or a Master Pendulum, and then there's your 3 scale. That's what's really bad about it. And the fact that you could also either special summon it or put it in the Pendulum Zone, and whatever else you don't pick gets added to your extra deck, that's really insane, and a lot of advantage just for having one card. It's a 1-card advantage card that could set up half your scales, or even both your scales if you have the right setup. So I feel like Draco Face-Off is definitely limit-worthy, especially with upcoming stuff, especially at Draco Power. Next thing up is Demok and Sangan. We don't have the official print of Sangan being errata yet. However, Demok, we do have the Demok errata. So he came in the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi Gold Collection, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legendary Decks thing. So that's basically it. We get one of them, and the errata makes him basically unplayable. He's just another beater. He's only as powerful as the spells you get, and since he's really slow, you only get one of the effects in end phase. It's kind of fair. Wavering Eyes, it's a card that's on everybody's list of things to go to 1 or banned. It's a very unfair, unhealthy card. I feel like it's like Soul Charge, honestly. When Soul Charge first came out, it was a 3, and everybody's thinking, yeah, this card is really broken. It had its format thrown around. Then the next ban list, they're like, okay, we need to do something about this. Somebody hit Soul Charge to 1 or ban it already. It's unfair. Having 3 of them and 3 Lone Fires is bullshit. I think they had 2 at the time, actually. Super overpowered cards typically have a trend, which basically is they come out at 3, they become really broken. The next format, everybody's thinking, yeah, it's either get hit, it doesn't get hit, and then the following format, which is like 2 or 3 formats later, it actually gets limited. You know, like Soul Charge. I feel the same thing's going to happen to Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is way too good, and I feel like it's just necessary. And Wavering Eyes itself is just too broken. With all that effects, you got another copy, and it searches any Pendulum monster. That's the best part. You can basically thin out your deck, just destroy both your own scales, and get a monster. It's just insane. It's like adding any effect monster to your hand. If you could add like Dark Arm Dragon or just, you know, any kind of effect monster and any other card, it would be broken. And I feel that's the same way with Wavering Eyes. It's just too generic, too good, and just murders the mirror match. It's like Jin. If you gotta side it out, it's too bad for the game. Even more Monarch hate, but it's necessary. Domain to 1, apparently Konami OCG agrees with me, so I'm right, obviously, right? But realistically wise, Domain's a really good card. It's easy to play around with. It's just, you can destroy it with any back row hate, like Archfiend or Twin Twister or stuff like that. But the thing that makes Domain really, I guess, hit-worthy is that it makes Monarchs really good. It fixes a lot of their problems, and it gives them a stun factor. They already have the Fiends, Majesty, and Vanities. Majesty's, I think, is searchable, too, because of its awesome stats. But the fact that this lowers the level of the Monarch, so it's easy to summon. Also, it gives them attack boost to make them, like, 3,600 to beat over anything. And the fact that it makes your opponent can't spell yourself to extra deck to get out of it. I feel like that if you had to dedicate so many resources, or had to dedicate any part of your deck to get rid of one card, and if you don't get rid of that one card, you lose the duel. I feel like it's at least limit worthy. So I feel like Domain, being how searchable it is, I feel like going to 1 isn't too bad, and it makes Monarch at least lowers them down. And with Panditi being banned, it just slows them down. I feel like that's it. That's all I feel like Monarch should get hit, in my opinion. Next up, E-Telly. Psych. E-Telly is a very, very powerful card, not just in Monarchs for the blue layer, but also in Cosmos. Getting your Farm Girl out, getting your Surge, bringing out Dark Destroyer, blah blah blah, is bullshit. It's been reprinted a couple times now. Both times it was short print, which is BS. So hopefully when it comes out in Infinite Bling, that doesn't happen. But it's just an overall really good card. I feel like going to 1 is great. It's just logical. Next up is Reasoning. I love Reasoning. It's one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a very splashable card. It gives you a free advantage. You can activate multiple. It's a really good card. But there's a lot of decks abusing it right now. Like Cosmos recently started doing it, as well as Super Quantums. Just more things. And to an extent, Infernoids, well, they haven't really done anything. But Reasoning, because of how powerful the card is, and how it just gives you access to free monsters. Yes, I do love using it in my decks like Chaos Dragons, Hieratics, and so forth. I feel like it's necessary to hit it to 1. They already tried to push Infernoids. That obviously didn't happen. Cosmos was based on evolution of Infernoids, ironically. But yeah, I feel like Reasoning going to 1 just makes sense right now, especially since it's getting reprinted in Infinite Bling. Another thing I want to touch on, Stormforce might get hit too, realistically speaking, because it's the only Monarch card. It's the only Monarch card getting reprinted in Infinite Bling. So if anything is the most likely to get hit, it would be Stormforce. But as for my personal picks, Panditi Band and Domain to 1. Another thing to 1 is Dante. Burning Abyss have had their time. They did get Graph to 1 and I think Seer to 2 and Tour Guide to 1. Yeah, but it's still pretty decent. You put Dante to 1, the deck is basically dead. If you Solemn Warning that Dante, what are they going to do, you know? This basically kills Burning Abyss. And it makes sense as Burning Abyss have been around for a very long time. Now it's splashable with Speedroids and Phantom Knights, which I think is bullshit. Because they can't be on the field if you have something that's not a Burning Abyss, but they found a way around that, which is weird. But Dante, I love the card, but you gotta go to 1, buddy. And the last thing on my limited is a very interesting card, because I've pretty much touched everything at this point, which is Performer Pals, Monarchs, Cosmos. I think that's the big ones. But I feel like Mermails is a very, very consistent threat right now. Consistent being a very relative term. I feel it's like Heroes, you know, back during Shaddoll format or whenever Dark Law came out. Like, they were very close to being tier 1, but they didn't get that last piece to get, you know, tier 1 material. And I feel like that's what Mermails are right now. If they get another Dragoons, if they get 2 Divas, the deck's going to be tier 1. It just makes sense. It's very powerful, very OTK. And what really gets me about the deck is that it can search out Moving Glacier, bring them out. If they have lead, it can take like 3 cards out of your hand. And that's kind of BS considering Delinquent Duo was banned for that reason. And you can make the argument saying, yeah, well, you got to work for it. Well, considering you don't really have to, everything in the deck is essentially searchable. Opening up Diva basically facilitates all this. I feel like just the only thing I feel like needs to be hit to Mermails is the hand thing. The hand thing. Moving Glacier in itself is a bad card. I don't think that should get hit. I feel like Dragoons. Just put Dragoons to 1. If they're going to use their 1 Dragoons to bring out Moving Glacier, that's fine. The hand is sacred in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why people hate Dark Worlds so much, you know, because all Dark Worlds do is fuck with your hand. And I would know. I love Dark Worlds because they fuck with your hand and your graveyard and your field and every other piece of you. They make you rage. But the thing about it is, what hurts with Mermails is that the LGK gets stopped. They don't really have much follow-up play. There's Dweller, and not many of them are actually bringing out Abyss-Gaios, and Gaios is a really powerful card himself. All you gotta do is put Dragoons to 1, and Mermails won't be hurt, but they'll be slowed down. But, you know, I just feel like Dragoons is the proper hit. I guess you can say Ban Diva, but I don't see that happening. One last thing I do want to mention, another card I see going to 1 is either Wisdom Eye Magician, Insight Magician, or Pendulum Call. If one of those has to get hit, because it already got crippled with freaking Wavering Eyes, because I see that happening in Joker, I offer Wisdom Eye as tribute or as sacrifice so we can keep our Pendulum Call. Because Wisdom Eye is the best monster, but Pendulum Call is what makes the deck. It protects your scales to get your 2 monsters. If we can keep Pendulum Call, you can take our 2 Insight Magicians, I'll be fine with that. Because the deck is still playable if you keep Pendulum Call. The deck is no longer playable if you take it away, you know. And if you take away Wisdom Eye, well, we're fucked. Like, the deck can't really do anything. I love Magicians, so I'm being a little bit lenient towards them. But at least just let us keep Pendulum Call. You can have Wisdom Eye, if you have to. You don't have to hit the deck at all, you know, because we have 1 Joker. Anyway, the semi-limits. Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit's pretty cute to have it too. 3 is too much, obviously. You can resolve it twice, I guess. I don't see the problem with them leviering it back, because not many times you can be doing that. The only way I see this would help would be the Pendulum decks, but if they're already being hurt by all these other things I'm saying in this theoretical scenario, it wouldn't be too much a problem. Rescue Rabbit's a great card. but it promotes playing bad cards in your deck, kind of like Rafflesia, Bottomless Trap Hole, Treasure Trap Hole. If you draw into them after you already used, like, if you already used Bottomless, and you draw into a Treasure Hole, you open with Treasure Trap Hole, you make Rafflesia just dead, you know. So Rescue Rabbit, if you open up with multiple vanillas, it's not good unless they're pendulums, in which case that could be any other monster. So I think Rescue Rabbit is pretty nice. Thunder King is necessary. I want Thunder King to go to 2. It slows down every single deck. And you could say, oh, it's kind of broken, but not against pendulums because it only stops one special summon, so ring out 2, you can't stop that. But he works for both players. Yeah, you can say, oh, he has this mini Black Horn of Heaven effect. Yeah, but he's only 1900. You could beat over him. You could Regeki him. He's very vulnerable. He just basically mistake on legs. And he takes a normal summon or pendulum summon. I feel like Thunder King's really great. He slows every deck down. It'll promote a slower format, which a lot of people are enjoying or want to see happen. I just want to have a slower format without too many traps. I don't want to play the, set 5 back row format with Teller Knights again. That was awful. Fuck you, please. Anyway, if Magicians do get hit somehow, I want Joker to go to 2. If Pendulum's already going to take a lot of this hate with Face Off going to 1, Monkey Board Ban, blah blah blah, all those things I said. Joker at 2 is just great. It helps them in a way, but not as much. Not as much as like this other things are hurting them. I want Joker to go to 2 if we get hit. Right now, Magicians don't get hit on this X ban list. Joker can stay his ass at 1. We can function without it, but I feel like he helps 4 piles more than Magicians, sadly. So if he stays at 1, that's fine. But it's because of the adjusted list, he's probably going to go to 1 on the real list because he's not officially at 1. Competitively, he's at 1, but so he's probably going to go to 1 realistically. Bottomless Trap Hole. I like Bottomless. It's a very good card. It's a lot of pendulum hate. Most people are running the Dinosaur guy, so Bottomless ain't going to do too much. It's just a really good card. I don't see no reason for it to stay at 1 right now. It's another Rafflesia target, so I don't have to run like, Trap Hole Nightmare or something like that. It's just really great. If Reasoning goes to 1, I want Monster Gate to go to 2. Monster Gate is a much more fairer card because you have to tribute a monster to do the same thing Reasoning does. So it kind of helps Infernoids, but it doesn't help Cosmos so much. Like, I guess you can say, I can tribute off my Dark Destroyer, bring out whatever thing I mill out, and then Dark Destroyer effect, blah, 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 or something stupid like that. I feel like Monster Gate is much more balanced than Reasoning. You have to invest a monster into it to get another monster, so inherently it's a neg-1, so I think it's pretty great. Just try it 2. If it doesn't get abused, put it to 3. It's just a much more fair card than Reasoning, if I can be honest with you. Dandelion. I want Dandelion to go to 2 because all the other plant stuff is at 3 except for Dandelion and Debris Dragon. We say, oh, that's stupid. Why the hell would that be a reason for anything? It makes sense. No one's playing Dandy, even Quasar. I just built Plant Synchro Quasar and I kind of enjoying it. But 2 Dandy would be really nice. 1 for 1 Dandy is still really nice. 1 for 1 at 2 would be nice too. Wink, wink. But yeah, I think Dandy would be really nice to come back. It's more of a me thing than anything else, but realistically speaking, no one's going to be playing 2 Dandy. No one's going to be playing Dandy at all in the upcoming format. There's no plant support released. Aero Mages did nothing, so, Last of the 2-ofs, or semi-limited, will be Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is a very, very iffy card. The OCG just now put it to 3. But Allure of Darkness, I don't see any dark decks in the meta. I don't see any dark decks in the meta. The only thing I can see realistically using this would be Monarchs, because Erebus. But honestly, Monarchs, they have enough consistency. They could already run Trade-In because all the guys they basically have is level 8s. So they don't even need Pandee to just run Trade-In because I've been doing that in my old Monarchs. When it first came out in the Structure deck, I was trying Trade-In. It was pretty nice. Pandee is infinitely better, but you can definitely substitute Trade-Ins for it. So, you're not hurt that bad. Fuck Nandidi. But Allure of Darkness is a really good card. I see no reason not to try it out at 2. There's no dark decks coming up that's going to be overtaking the format, so, why not? And the most fun part, the Unlimits. Dragon Ravine, give Dragoonies their last Dragon Ravine. I mean, they already have 2. Dragoonies aren't going to be doing anything. Dragon Ruler's a ban, it just makes sense. And Charge of the Light Brigade, because Light Swords have done nothing. Honestly, you could put freaking Honest to 3. Honest is the only hand trap out right now that you can't run 3 copies of. You can run 3 Maxi, 3 Vela, 3 Usagi, 3 Joel and Rockberg, but you can't run 3 Honest. You can only run 2. So just put them at 3. One of the 2 will be nice. Light Swords aren't going to do anything. Unless if you bring out Minerva from being a prize card to normal, like just putting in like even a tournament pack, put Charge at 2. I mean 3. It'll be great. But yeah, guys, that is my ban list stuff. Once again, let me roll down through it. Banned Monkey Board, the 4-pound Monkey Board, Elder Entity Norden, Banditi of the Monarchs to 1, Draco Face-Off, Demok or Sangan, whenever Sangan gets his errata, Wavering Eyes, Domain of the Monarchs, E-Teleport, Reasoning, Dante, Atlantean Dragoons to 2, Rescue Rabbit, Thunder King Ryo, Joker if Magicians get hit, Foolish Burial. Oh, I forgot to talk about Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, no one's going to be running 2 Foolish Burial, just I like it. I can't think of a good reason on the spot, but it just helps Infernoids, I don't know any deck that could abuse multiple Foolish Burials in this format. So, just nice to have. Bottomless, Monster Gate, Dandelion Allure for unlimited, Dragon's Ravine, and Charge the Light Brigade / Honest. So yeah, guys, that is my Forbidden ban list discussion. It's kind of longer than our normal videos. It's going to be a bitch in editing. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Just comment down below what you guys think. Of course, this is my own opinion, so of course it's not right. And I don't work for Konami, so of course I'm not going to be 100% sure in what I'm thinking. But these are my thoughts on it. I gave my reasonings. Do yours as well. Just comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Tell me how I'm wrong about my own opinion, because opinions can be wrong, right? If the internet has taught me anything. Don't forget to like the video, comment the video, and subscribe to my channel, which is Screencasters, for more epic and amazing videos similar to this one. Once again, my name is YUGIOH from Screencasters. I am signing out. See you guys.